Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee, I'm Hornaday, and today I am here as the Vice President of the Colorado Log Cabin Republicans, on whose behalf I'm offering support for Senate Bill 172. As a Republican, of course, I'd like to begin with a quote from the great communicator himself, Ronald Reagan. "The family has always been the cornerstone of American society. Our families nurture, preserve, and pass on to each succeeding generation the values we share and cherish, values that are the foundation for our freedoms. In the family, we learn our first lessons of God and man, love and discipline, rights and responsibilities, human dignity and human frailty. Our families give us daily example of these lessons being put into practice. America's families make immeasurable contributions to American well-being. Today, more than ever, it is essential that these contributions not be taken for granted, and that each of us remember that the strength of our families is vital to the strength of our nation." 40th President wrote those words in 1986, and today, a quarter of a century later, they are even more true. For the reasons articulated so ably by President Reagan, our government does have a significant and compelling interest in encouraging and preserving stable and secure families. The good news is that the purpose of this Civil Unions Bill is precisely to further that interest. This bill represents a great example of our commitment to the family. It puts in place for families that, for one reason or another, have been ignored by the law, the same incentives, rights, and most importantly, responsibility that we have in place for other kinds of families. It creates an institution for a couple to build a family with similar rights and responsibilities to marriage, but regardless of the nomenclature, whether we call it marriage or a civil union, the goal is the same and the benefits are the same. What we have here is an opportunity to both encourage and solidify stable, long-term relationships built like any family out of respect, love, and commitment that in many cases seeks to transmit those values to successive generations and are great examples of those values put into practice today. The ultimate goal here is to do everything we can to make sure that those principally valued features of the family, what they do, continues to endure. The kinds of unions that a religious institution recognizes as a marriage is not an appropriate place for the arm of government to be swinging about. One of the first things I looked for when the text of the bill was made public was what kind of protections does it afford religious liberty in this area. And I was quite pleased to find that the bill addressed that very real, very significant, and very valid concern. In fact, I can offer my support and the support of the Colorado Log Cabin Republicans only to a bill that also protects that necessary and indefeasible freedom, the free exercise of religion. I'm here to ask all of you members of the committee, and in particular the Republicans, to join such Republicans as our last president and his vice president, indeed, as well as some of your colleagues in the General Assembly, to support civil unions. This is not a partisan issue. This bill is an expression of our commitment to the family and our understanding that the family is indispensable to our society and civilization. In short, this is about family values. That is, it's about values